like, if you dance, you must be a or if you dance, you must be a and she looked at me like, oh, like, that's nothing. That's, zero. That's, beneath me. A dancer. I've never had a gym membership. I had a message once from a lady who wanted to unalive herself, and she said she saw my videos and loved my videos so much that it motivated for her to be healthy, and then she basically stopped thinking about unaliving herself. Like, that's how deep you can touch someone just through this thing called dance that doesn't mean much to some people. But then I thought, you know what? No. let me just tell her something about dancers and about artists. First of all, welcome to my channel, DaRealLesley Talks, aka DaReal Mama. And today I'm doing a get ready with me while we talk about what is success. What is success? Now, I've been thinking about this question recently because someone said, oh my gosh, you're really successful. And I thought, well, I don't think I'm that successful. I mean, like, what do you mean by that? And they've been watching me for about 8 years online. And they said, oh, I've seen you tour, I've seen you teach, and now you're mom and all of this. And I thought, do you know what? I understand what they mean now. However, like, what is success is, what's the word? Objective, is it? Like, success is objective to, depending on who you're talking to. Like, one person it means something and one person it means something else. Like, and this reminds me of an incident that happened. I'll say incident, but I just ended up speaking to this woman on the tram. I was in South. I can't remember where I was going, but I was on the tram and I was with my twins, and this lady, I started conversating with this lady, and this lady was like, oh, my daughter is a doctor. She's like this grade of a doctor, da 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 da. And she was like, oh, my husband's a lawyer and a doctor, and he owns a firm, and this, that, and la la. And she just went on and on about the credentials of her children and her partner, and how successful they were, and and all of that business. And I was like, yeah, that's amazing. And then she sort of asked me, what do you do? And I said, well, I'm a dancer. And she looked at me like, oh, like, that's nothing. That's, zero. That's, beneath me. And I was thinking, let me not say anything. Let me not say anything. Just be polite. But then I thought, you know what? No. let me just tell her something about dancers and about artists. First of all, being a dancer, dancing professionally is an art form. And I call dance a creative sport. The reason why it's a creative sport is we actually train, we actually have to have a certain amount of fitness. It's not as straightforward as people think it is. It's not a step, click. There's a lot that goes into dance and the mechanics of it, right? And so I had to just basically slightly put her in a place, but in a polite way, because this lady, bear in mind, she was being so lovely. She was complimenting me. That's why we started conversating in the first place. So I basically said to her, listen, dance can seem a certain way and it can have certain stigmas attached to it. Like, if you dance, you must be a hoe, or if you dance, you must be a stripper, or if you dance, you don't take yourself seriously, or you don't have a serious job. Especially in the African community, or the aunties be like, oh, what does your daughter do? Oh, she's a dancer. A dancer. Like, there's a stigma around dance or dancers. Not so much now, but definitely when I started, there was a huge stigma around it. So anyway, I said to her, listen, I've done so much through dance. I've changed people's lives through dance. And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, I basically broke it down and said, Well, first of all, dance is a fitness. So I've helped people reach their body goals. I've helped them lose weight for their weddings, lose weight in general, improve their health. I've helped uplift people that was down. I had a message once from a lady who wanted to unalive herself, and she said she saw my videos and loved my videos so much that it motivated for her to be healthy, and then she basically stopped thinking about unaliving herself. Like, that's how deep you can touch someone just through this thing called dance that doesn't mean much to some people. Now, another thing that dance has done for me is improve my confidence. Like, this world is mad right now. It's very opinionated, very, what's the word? There's like too much going on. There's cancel culture, all these things exist, too right? Judgmental. Too judgmental. So if you don't have self-esteem, if you don't have confidence, if you don't believe in yourself, you're just gonna fall apart. You're gonna your psyche, your mental health is gonna take a hit, you know, and you need an outlet to express yourself, to grow, to learn. And dancing is one of those things that is an outlet for a lot of people. Even people who do it as a hobby, they use it to energize themselves, motivate themselves, feel good about themselves. So dancing has improved my confidence where I can take rejection. Like, on top of that, because of the 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 training that I had to go under, the auditions, I had to face rejection all the time. And this is not even because I wasn't good or because I didn't match the job, but it could have been because they have someone my height. It could have been because, you know, I'm I'm too pretty for the job. It could be because there's already a black girl on the job. Like, these are not things that necessarily hinder my skill or anything. It's just things that are are obstacles for me getting that job, right? So I had to understand that, look, it's not just because of me, there's other factors. So don't why are you getting yourself down when you can't control something? My partner always says that to me. Don't stress about what you can't control. And this is one of those things I couldn't control if I didn't get a job, right? So all I could do is control how I go forward and using dance to motivate me. And that has done so much that I've made myself very strong, very proud. That also comes from my culture of being Congolese, Le Sap, all of that. But it also comes from the discipline I learned through rejection, through how brutal the dance industry can be. And people who do modeling, people who do fashion, they are under the same sort of umbrella. So they will understand what I'm talking about. That it's brutal out here in the streets. Like, people are plain ass rude. So you have to build some thick skin. You have to learn to love yourself. So self-esteem is another thing that I told this lady, look, self-esteem is actually key, right? Self-esteem that I've built is through this dance. No one can knock me. I say no one, God maybe Yahweh, but no one can knock me. So I built this self-esteem, which has helped my mental health, which has helped my self-care. Like, there's so many benefiting factors attached to that. Then there's the case of traveling now. So I've been to I think about 14 plus countries. 14 plus countries. And I didn't pay for these countries. I didn't pay for the accommodation, the hotel, nothing. It was all jobs, brands, tours that I was a part of, that I was successful in. And I was able to travel through dance. And that's one of my goals that I wanted to do, is travel the world and be able to learn and experience life in a whole different environment. And I was able to do that just because of this thing called dance, right? Some of my favorite places that I visited is, ooh, I want to say South Africa. I love South Africa. I've been to Nigeria. I had a fantastic experience there, even though everyone was telling me not to go. You're going to get kidnapped, all of this stuff. But I absolutely loved the month and a half that I was there. The first time. Where else do I like? I really liked Alicante. Alicante. I think that's in Spain. I really like. It's very family friendly as well. I took a holiday there with the girls as well when they were a bit younger. Where else did I like? I'm trying to think. Oh, I loved LA. LA's like dance village. Like the amount of things I learned in LA and about, the dancers out there is crazy. The hunger that they have, the drive that they have, the energy that they have is unmatched. So I really love the dancers out there in America, especially in LA. I also been to New York, and New York is like a London but bigger, and it doesn't stop. They're so similar though. Um, like I can't even remember the places, but Dubai as well. I really like Dubai. Um, China, I loved China. China was the one of the first jobs I had, and it was some company that employed my group, Real Candy, to go dance at the event. I'll try and put a picture of the event here, but that was my first job, and they looked after us like we're celebrities. Honestly, I loved the experience, and that was my first job in China. So, dance has allowed me to travel the world, experience all these things, learn all these things, you know, understand, where I fit in this huge world that we have. Do you know what I mean? And you can't you can't learn that in any other way than through travel. So travel was really a big one that I gained from being a dancer.
The only way you can survive in London is if you always have a holiday booked. And in order for you to survive in a place like London, you need to know when you're next leaving it. I'm not even saying this to pocket watch anyone, to money shame anybody. I've had probably the best year I've probably had in years just because of the amount of vacations I've booked. I'm not saying it's realistic to book 5 holidays, of course, but cut down on the eating outs, cut down on the clothes, every outfit for a different motive, and save to leave the country. If you're someone that's never left the country, the importance is past your mental health. It opens your mind to what is possible in life. It opens your mind to who you can be, where you can live, what you can do. I feel like people that don't leave the country, they have a very narrowed view of what they can achieve and what is possible. The first time I left the country, I was 18. It opened my mind up to, wow, there's a life outside of this little London. It changed my whole life. I knew I had to do better. I knew I had to be better. I knew I could have a life that could actually surpass London. Book that holiday. Cut down on everything else if you have to. Book the holiday. It's so important for you. Important for your mental health. Important for how you see yourself. Important for your life and your success. And make sure your children go on holiday as well.
But make sure you take your kids on holidays as well. It's really important to take them out of the hood, to show them there's more to life than just their area. There's more to life than just the postcode. And on top of that, we're raising kings and queens. We ain't trying to have no little boys come and make them all shake, 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 because the man them are offering to pay them cheap tickets to go to Marbella, fly them out to go sweets and go to APs and all of that. You need to make sure that you can do that for your kids. Yeah, that's right. Make sure you can do that for your kids. Don't let your kids be shook by linga because some guy is offering to fly them out for the weekend. Are you not dumb? My kids do spas. My kids do 5-star hotels. Period. Shout out to Lottie. She's on one. She ain't lying. She ain't lying one bit. I'm in a resort right now. I took my kids to the spa this morning. My kids are loving life. They're experiencing there is more to life. Mommy and daddy are treating them right. Because one thing about it, no boy or no gal is going to have my kids stunting on my kids. Yeah, because my kids stunt on their own. Period. Shout out to you lots. You know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing.
So, another thing I gained from being a dancer is being able to be fit. Like, I've never had a gym membership. Yes, I've never had a gym membership. I purely keep fit through dance. And I'm going to start, some dance sessions online, by the way. So keep tuned to that. And I'm also going to do a dance mum session, especially catering for my mums, because one thing I realized, they don't really have a community for mums that want to keep fit, that's specializing to them, that's catering just for them. So I'm going to be starting that soon. So keeping fit, keeping fit has, I didn't even need to think about it because it was already ingrained in my life through my dancing, right? I literally would walk everywhere. I don't know how to drive, so I can't even try and get in a car because, but I was able to go to castings, auditions, travel, and walk, get public transport everywhere. So I never needed no gym membership. All I done is a little bit of cardio, a little bit of, abs works at the beginning of my sessions, my classes, or when I'm going to class or when I'm teaching it. And that's all I needed. Like, I never needed a gym. Not to say gyms are not useful, but it wasn't needed in my life. I never needed a membership ever. And that shows how much dance has benefited me, where I didn't even need to think about that. I didn't even have to invest in, like, doing fitness, doing training. All of that was already built within my dance, right? So the other thing I said to her is things that are not so obvious, which is how dance has an effect on other people. And what I mean by this is, I don't I love to inspire. I like the quote, inspire to inspire. I love that quote, and I definitely want to inspire people, but I won't call myself a role model just because of the expectations around that can be can be like so diverse. So for me, it's more of a thing where if I can inspire someone to improve on themselves, to grow, to benefit from what I'm doing, then I'm already winning. And I've done that through dance multiple times, through when I was teaching in Dubai or Paris or Italy or New York, or my private sessions or my sessions for my weddings. All of these things I've been able to affect someone in a positive way just through dance. I've been able to help with their journey of their life through dance. And that's a magical thing, because not everyone can do that. Like, the fact that I can help, potentially save someone's life, to encourage them to hang on, to have self-esteem, to grow, to look after their body, their temple, right? All of this is just from me dancing, nothing else, right? So I'm saying this all to this lady, and the lady is deep in it. She's deep in it. She's really listening to me, and she's like, wow. And then, last on my list that I mentioned to this lady, basically I said, I've earned a lot of money through dance. Now, yes, it's not stable. It can be very inconsistent. Yes, that all exists. But once you perfect your game, once you really tap into your skill set, your genres, your niche in terms of dance, you can find success. Yes, especially if you're naturally talented, because there's a debate on natural versus trained dancers, but that's another topic. But I believe that I'm naturally gifted. On top of that, I have training as well, so I put these things together to use to my advantage, and that's helped me being able to do some really high end performances, festivals, artists like Burna Boy, gigs, Dizzy Rascal, Miss Banks, all these people I've been able to dance for. And I've been able to do it because of the consistency of training and pursuing my dreams, right? And I've been able to make a lot of money in a short space of time through campaigns that I've been involved in with Levi's, with Mac, with Urban Decay. And I can actually say yes. I earned money, enough money that I could literally solely depend on me dancing. So I also teach dance. Bear in mind, I teach dance. I have a company as well, slash agency, and I choreograph as well. So everything around or surrounding dance, I've been able to monetize from, and that's been my income. No side hustle, no nothing. Literally dance, 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 dance. So financially, dance has ticked that box for me as well. I was able to book my holiday. I was able to buy my mum gifts that I never thought I would be able to do. I was able to get, it might be nothing now, but I remember at the time I was gassed, and I generally was so proud of myself that I was able to buy these 18 karat gold hoop earrings. I love hoop earrings. And they were from LA. When I went to LA the first time and I saw them and I was like, oh my God, I really want to buy this. Do you know what? I have a bit of money, let me spend. And I never had bought earrings for myself before that time. And if I did, it was just, the Claire's or these cheap, plated gold earrings. They were never full gold and 18 karat gold. So for me, that was a big deal at the time. That was an achievement. That was like my first car, sort of, even though it's not a car, but yeah. Anyway, that the fact that I was able to do that, the fulfillment I got in myself that I was able to pay for those 18 karat gold earrings. Obviously now that's nothing, but then it was a big deal, especially because I had never been able to do that before in my life. And at that point, I think I was like 20. So this is like 10 years ago now. So I've been dancing 15 years and I've been able to make all these things that I've just spoke about be my life. And I was basically sharing this with this lady, and this lady said, you know what? I'm really sorry. Like, I guess I had what's that word?
Conception.
Yeah, a preconception slash like a, not stigma, but what's that thing? They say that about black people as well. Stereotype.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, stereotype. So basically, people stereotyped, or she had stereotyped dancers to be a certain way, move in a certain way, behave in a certain way, and not be very serious, not be able to be financially stable, etc. And I basically said, it might be seen that way, but it isn't that way, especially not with me anyway. So before you say, or before you think someone's unsuccessful, there's layers to things. There's things that you might not be privy to that is key, right? Because I hate this thing where people compare themselves. Comparing yourself is your worst enemy. Don't do it, by the way. Don't do this comparing thing. I never compare myself because no one has lived my life and I haven't lived their life. So what's the point of comparing? Because it's always going to be unfair. It's always going to not make sense. No one has grew up the way I grew up. No one has faced the things I faced, and vice versa. So comparing yourself is just digging yourself in a hole. So just don't do it. So you want to stay focused and stay motivated and remember that even though you might not feel successful now, it's about the journey, and where that journey leads you is up to how you move, how you make your decisions, how you take time and investment in yourself. And if that means you start to take care of yourself and you spend more on yourself, then that's okay. If that means you need to step into a gym or you need to do more fitness yourself at home or take dance classes, my classes will be linked. If you want to do any of that to make yourself grow, to feel your fulfillment, feel yourself or your definition of success, then let that be what it needs to be for you. Do you get me? Like, success is different depending on who's asking. But for me, yes, I'm successful. I didn't think I was, but after after like speaking to that lady and basically like reflecting on my whole life and where I'm at now, yes, I'm successful. Like I've managed to achieve my goals. I've managed to tour, dance with my favorite people that I wanted to dance with, my favorite artists, which is Wizkid. I'm also a fan of Dizzy Rascal, and I dance with him as well. Like I said before, um, that my other goal was to be able to travel, and I've been able to travel all these places. Like I can't tell you the benefits of just traveling alone. I've met so many people that's touched my life that I'm still in contact with just through traveling. I've made more jobs, like I've basically planted a seed and made more fruits just by through traveling and my experiences whilst I've been traveling. So that's a huge one that was one of my goals that I've been able to achieve. And now I'm at this time where it's motherhood and I've achieved something I've been speaking to existence before I even could remember. Like I remember speaking about wanting to have twins all my life. And when I mean all, I mean I remember being in like primary school, which is like, what's primary school in America?
Kindergarten,
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Elementary.
elementary, kindergarten, one of them. Basically, the one before high school for my American followers. Um, and since primary school, I was saying I was pushing my pushchair, and I only had one doll, but for some reason I had two heads. So I was like pretending I put a cover on them. I would pretend I have two babies. I've All my friends, especially my old friends, know that this has been something I've wanted. I wanted non-identical twin girls and to have a family, and I've done that. I'm doing that right now, and I'm so proud of the journey and how I've grown, because it has not been easy, and I'm glad I waited to have children, and I did this thing called dance first, because obviously dance is, physical, so you want to be at your prime when you're doing it. You're going to benefit the most. That's what I would say. And for me, that worked out perfectly, because I was able to achieve all these goals and experience all these things. So I'm built and strong enough, and I have the mental strength to handle children, let alone twins, which I ended up getting. And I'm so thankful that I have this. I now have a son as well, so I'm a boy mom, and I'm learning how that goes because I'm not used to it. But all this to say, believe in yourself. Success will come with with your with your trust in yourself. Trust and believe in yourself, in your abilities, in your skills, in your power, and success will come to you. And then you'll be able to say, yes, you've been successful. I am successful. So basically, the lesson is, don't judge a book by its cover. Be successful is subjective based on the person. So your success might not be someone else's success, and vice versa. And best believe dancers are very, very, very needed in this society. They basically are healers. They help with your motivation. They help with your mental health, they help with your fitness, they help with so much things that it's actually, it's to call it just a dancer is an understatement. Dance is way more than the word. And it can do way bigger things than just dance. Like dance has so much positive things attached to it that I'm hoping that I brought to light, that made you think about, that you might have not thought about, as a dancer. There's stereotypes about a dancer that I hope that you understand now are non-existent on the most part. Yes, there's people that are, do other things that are dancers as well, but dancers, especially professional dancers, should should be respected for what they do and what they and their skills that they share with the world. So, what is success? Success is what it is to you. Make sure you take time, invest in yourself, allow yourself to grow so you can be able to achieve what success is to you. But in my case, yes, I've been successful. It took me some time to understand that, to really deep that, but yeah, I've been successful, and I'm in the chapter of my life where I've got new things that I'm pursuing, new things that I'm pushing, new things that I want to grow in, and new goals that I want to achieve. So, and YouTube is actually one of those. So please help me out by subscribing, liking, doing all that good stuff, interacting in the comments. Let me know where you're at. Are you in the journey? Are you successful already? Don't you think you're successful? Why? Let me know, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.